So in the last session, what we have seen, we were using C# code that we are binding to the out of the box process that we are calling as a custom workflow activities. What do you mean by custom workflow? You are writing some C# code and you are attaching to the existing workflow. That's why we are calling as a custom workflow. OOB workflow means without using any code, if you write any process, that we will call it as a out of the box workflow. If you use any code, if you bind any code in that workflow we will be calling as a out of the box workflow. So how do we identify out of the box workflow, normal workflow? Suppose in any process, if it doesn't have any DLL, doesn't have any code reference, that is out of the box. If it has any DLL or code reference, then it will be like a custom, right? Now, so so here we are in the Power Platform environment setting. So what we are going to do today in the from the process, we need to create, right? So instead of creating from here, you can make use of maker portal. Why? Because if you create from here, it is opening within the screen. If you use the maker portal, you will get a full screen. That's why should also we prefer the same thing. Now just switch back to Microsoft maker portal. Here within this maker portal, what you can do, you can go to any one of the solution, or you can use existing. You can create or you can use the existing. So today I'm creating a new solution. My I am using the publisher, whatever the available from. So here I need to create a. Yesterday I was creating process, right? Now also I will be creating the same automation process. But if you see here under process, we have tried workflow. That is nothing but out of the box workflow where we will created the various triggering points. We made it as a on demand. We made it as a synchronous real time background, and we have added all the steps. Yesterday also we have used it, right? Now we have tried business process flow as well. We have created various stages, and we are defining the requirement level at each stage, and also we defined some triggering flows based upon the stage entry or stage exit that we have seen. The next one is action. So with the help of this action, what you will do, you are creating a custom message. Custom message means in the plugin registration tool, whenever you are using registering a DLL, once you are adding the step, it's asking message, right? Let me show you. Now go to plugin registration tool, connect to your environment, create new connections, display, login. It will ask you to select the account. You need to give your credentials. I'm authenticating with my. So I'm selecting my dev environment only. Now, whenever you are registering any plugin assembly, what you are doing, you are creating steps, right? Where is my plugin assembly? My first plugin. Here you are registering a DL and here you are adding steps. So while adding the step, what you are doing, you are selecting the message, right? So with help of action, you can create your own. By default, you are getting create all those, right? Now with help of actions, you can create the your own message. Now let's see. So for that purpose, what we are doing, we are into process maker portal and we are creating my own action. Table you have to choose on which table you want to create. So here I'm choosing my what is my entity should be using village, right? So let's use the same entity village. And I'm not selecting any template, so I'm using blank. So once you create the this blank action, it will be similar to workflow only. You could see the same designer, same thing. So let it open. The only difference is in this action, same like workflow, you can define input parameters and output parameters. Okay. If you see the process name is you have defined the name also you have defined. Activate as process. If you want to create process template, you can use the process template. Now what you are doing, so if you have available to run as a business process action step, if you want to same like on demand checkbox, if you selected this one, this can trigger from business process flow as well. Now if you see here also you have the same options. Whatever the options you were doing earlier, now also you have same option. The only difference is whenever you created an action for this entity, this action will be available in the plugin registration tool. Unlike process, workflow, and plugins. So plugin will use the existing messages, right? Suppose if you create a new message with help of action, you can trigger, you can use that message here. Okay. So for now, what I'm doing, I will just add some dummy input parameters. Like this is my input argument. Input one I'm giving. Let's give this is a string simple. And entity I'm not choosing anything because here we have selected string type. If you selected entity type, the below one will be pop up. You can able to select the entity. Okay, don't confuse. Now I have given the name type and the type is input. Now I have selected. And if you want to define any one more process, you have to click on this one, output one. Output string. Let's make it this as well, same description. So what you do, just given the inputs, the process arguments. Now the next thing is this is similar to the normal workflow only. You can define whatever you want to do. You want to add any conditions, you can add the conditions. You want to do anything, you can do that. So for my practice purpose, what I will do, I will just create a record. Okay. Some contact that we create. Okay. Just choose this create record and choose for contact entity. Let it load. Set properties. You have to use the properties, right? Same like workflow, everything will be same. The only difference is if you activate this action, you could see a new message. Okay. So for this full name, what I need to do, I need to do the first name and last name. So I'm going below where I could see the all fields. This is my last name. Where is my first name? First name will be like same constant. LED. Last name will be like dynamic. Let's assume we are using village name again, same like yesterday. So click it here, select it, add it. Now it will append LUT as a village. Now I just created one some dummy action here in the action. Now what I can do, Now I am done with this process definition. I am activating it. So once you activate the action, a new message will be created in the CRM database. So let's see that. How can we see that? Now this is done, right? Now I'm just refreshing it. So this is activated. Now I'm refreshing this plugin registration tool as well. Okay.
వద్దు వచ్చి తింటాను.
Now I am going back to plugin. Where is my plugin? My first plugin, and this is on the village street, right? So open any one of them. I'm just adding a new step. So here, if you search for LUT, you are getting LUT my action, right? Why? Because you have defined a new message with the help of process action. So now what will happen? Whenever this action it happens, you triggered it from plugin or you trigger it from for automate, you trigger it from JavaScript. So whatever the steps you have in the process, those will execute. Okay. Now in the plugin registry tool, you could see right the same thing. I will try to invoke from my Power Automate. Okay. So for that purpose, I am going to maker dot Power Automate. So I have to move my environment, switch back to my dev environment and dev. Now try to create some Power Automate flow. I am using instant cloud flow. I am giving like my PFO for actions. I'm giving some name. I'm giving. I'm using manual triggered flow. Now what you are doing? You are just creating a Power Automate flow. You are triggering manually, explicitly. Now what I want to do? I want to use my new process, whatever the new action created, right? So for that purpose, you have to use Dataverse connector. That is perform bound action. Okay. You have relate rows, everything, right? Perform bound action, selected environment. Like this, you have to use. So perform bound action, choose table. What is my table? Village, right? So look for it, villages. And what is the action? You can choose. Right now we have only one, right? So you will be getting that. LUT my own action. So row ID. Why it is asking row ID? You define like you want to execute this on the village record, right? That's why it is expecting. Now you can give the G. I am giving direct hardcode GID from this tool. From this UI, I will be get the UID. There is my plugin practice villages. How can I get the GID? With help of level up, you can use this extension. Get the record ID, copy it, put it here, remove the closing curly braces. Record ID, record. Hmm. Okay. Now advanced parameters. If you click on advanced parameters, we defined input input, right? So you can pass input as well. But right now I'm not using input anywhere. I'm creating contact, but I'm using the just village name only. So it will pick the village name. Suppose if you want to make use the input whatever you're passing that as well, you can you will try that later. So you can say you can pass that as well. So I'm just right now I'm using some test input and clicking it. So what will happen whenever you do this? You are just creating a normal flow, manual trigger flow. On top of that, you are doing a perform bound action. In the bound action, you are selecting the village, the entity, and the respective action. This is not a default action. This is the action created by me from process. Okay. Now you are ready to test. So click on this test. You have GID hard coded, right? Nothing to worry. And I'm triggering manually because this is the instant workflow or automate flow. Your flow runs successfully. What will happen when my flow execute? As per my logic, it has to create a contact, right? So how can you see whether contact is created or not? Either you can go to advanced find or you can use maker portal and you can see the tables. In the left hand side you have the tables, right? So here you can search for contact table. If you search for contact table, it will create a record. We might have already records, but we need to get the latest, whatever created today. So we have only one Jyoti. See, LUT test village one. This is created today. So how can you confirm? You can select full name and created on and created by these seeing the properties. This is created by LT for admin and today's date 14th. Okay. Now this is how will we use. Now tell me. So in this designing, it's everything same. So here you have same like workflow. You can add the existing steps or you can use DLL. Here also you are getting customer workflow example. Here also you can use everything. The only difference is if you define your process as action, you can use it in the plugin. You can use it in the Power Automate flow. You can call it from some other place. So you can re-trigger whenever you want. In the yesterday, whenever you use custom workflow activity, you can call it from only from the record like as an on-demand flow. But if you define the action, you can call it from anywhere you want. Either you can call it from C# plugin, you can call it from C# workflow as well. Again, you can call it from Power Automate like that. That's the difference. Now, right now I haven't used any parameters, right? Now let me use parameters. So for that purpose, instead of LUAT here, I will keep my input value. Okay. So for that purpose, I'm just removing. Otherwise, I'm adding the extra thing. So if you go to this look for, you have arguments, right? You can choose input or output. So I'm just adding input. So I'm adding one more icon. Clicking on OK.
మురళి గారు ఇందాకే కాల్ చేశారు అందుకనే కొంచెం టెన్షన్ ఉండి చేశాను అంతే. అది ఇప్పుడే షెడ్యూల్ చేస్తా అన్నారు. ఎల్టీఏ మా ఎంట్రీ అన్నమాట ఇది. ఆల్రెడీ అంటే లాస్ట్ టైం ఒకసారి రెడీ చేసింది. క్వశ్చన్స్ ఉన్నాయి నా దగ్గర. అది మీకు ఒకసారి పంపిస్తాను. రేపు 11 o'clock పెట్టుకున్నానండి. 11 to 11:45. లేదు లేదు ఫేస్ టు ఫేస్ వర్చువల్. ఏం లేదు వర్చువల్ అయితే. అదే అది నీకు జేడీ ఒకసారి పంపించాను. మాక్సిమం అది క్యాన్వాస్ పవర్ పవరాకే అడిగేది లాస్ట్ టైం కూడా. పవర్ డేటాబేస్ పర్లేదండి. నేను చెప్తాను క్యాన్వాస్ యాప్స్. మనకి డేటా అవర్స్ గానీ, ఇవి పవర్ ఆటోమేట్ గానీ కొంచెం మీరు ఏం చెప్పారు.
హలో.
ఓకే. అయితే నేను క్యాన్వాస్ అదేండి. నేను ప్రాక్టీస్ చేశాను బాగా. డిఫరెన్సెస్ లుకప్ కి అను, డ్రాప్ డౌన్ కి, ఫిల్టర్ అవన్నీ అవన్నీ నేను చేశాను.
Okay. So, do you guys able to hear me?
Yes, Harish. Yes.
So what I did, I just using input parameter here instead of hard coding, and I'm making changes, right? So what I will do, I will just save and close my changes. Reopen to see my changes. Let me reload. Here I added my changes. Okay, those are available. Next thing, what I want to do, whenever I want to stop the flow, I want to return my value. So for that purpose, I am using stop workflow, and I have one output parameter, right? So in that output parameter, I want to set the return value. So what can you set? So if you see here from the arguments create contact, or from this arguments you will be having output, right? So you can add this. So right now I'm not adding. I have defined the output argument, and I'm assigning while in the stopping workflow stage. But nowhere I'm assigning this value, right? So you can assign somewhere in the code, or you can somewhere in the middle. Okay. So for that purpose, now if you click on this add step, assign value. So just click on this. These are the classic result. Will be little slow only. Don't worry. So in the set properties, you could assign output because you have only one, right? So statement like assigning output. My first action output parameter. Okay. You are giving some random count. Instead of random count, if you want to use children count, if you want to use any other count also, you can give. Anyway, we have seen right adding the dynamic content. So I'm just giving like some static text. So what will happen whenever after execution of this flow, here you are setting output. So in the completion of this stage, see if you see in outputs, do you have now if you see we don't have any output, right? For after perform action. If you click on this properties, you are seeing status only. You don't see an output. Show output also you will be having all this common. But now as you are defining output parameters with something, you could see that what is this? This has to be before because you are stopping of the flow before, right? So you need to make it move it. I don't think you can directly move. It's not a core automator. You have to you can create. And what is the error we are getting by the way? the step you have the step wherever. You must delete those before proceeding. So I'm just deleting. And now what I will do, I will add my staff workflow step. Now I'm setting the properties again. Output property with my variable arguments output. So here I'm not following any logical. I'm just playing with the what are the available features. Now I am ready with my changes. I'm just activating it. So process confirmation. Now right. So if I trigger the same workflow again, I haven't modified anything in the Power Automate, right? I just modified everything in the process. If you run the same workflow again, the behavior will be changed. The first thing is the village name, the contact name, whatever you are creating, instead of LUT, it will insert the input argument, input argument, whatever we have kept. What we have kept a test, right? So that will be inserted. Now the test will be inserted. Otherwise, I will be keep like this. Okay. Then and output parameters you will be getting the whatever you assign the value. Okay. So I'm just testing it for the same record. Manually, you can choose. Click on run. Done. Now your flow is running. After the 1 2 seconds, it will be state succeeded. Your flow run successfully. So if you click on this perform mode action, these are show raw inputs. If you click on the raw outputs, now if you see where is my properties start time. Okay. So now go to tables and refresh this. One more contact will be created. LUT suffix, NH suffix, the record name. So here LUT NH control is created. The one more thing what we need to test output parameter we are not able to see here, right? Why? Because we don't have any step before after this, so that's why we are not able to see. Ideally, we should able to see in the here in the outputs. Show outputs. Do you have anything here? Request ID. Date you have. Text. Okay. So try to add some after this perform mode action. I will try to add some action. So let me add some compose action to see the output of above step. Here in the inputs, I will try to pass output from the perform bound action. So how do you pass dynamic content? Here, like this you need to choose, right? So perform bound action output. You have see output one is now available. Why it's not available directly? Because that the flow is ending there only, right? That's why it is not going. Now what's the error you're getting? Effects, dynamic content, sorry. Effects means formula. We need to give direct output. Like this, we need to define. So now I could see I could reuse the
Anish,
output
sorry.
in the next step.
Hello.
Now I'm just building, saving
Hello.
this, and
Hello.
hello.
Anish, I'm not able to see your screen.
You're not able to see my screen, huh?
Yes. Just
What
it's
about,
showing blank screen.
what about others? I am in screen share only. Your screen sharing is showing.
It's visible for me.
Rejoin, try
Yeah.
to.
Now it is visible. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. Anish.
So here it is showing we have added the extra step to see the output of the previous step, right? So that is the compose step. Now I'm just running it manually because this is an instant flow. You can run anytime you want. Now click on run flow. Your flow run successfully. Now in that if you go to compose option, show raw inputs. We are getting this second perform bound output. Where is my input? No inputs. Huh? What is this? Let me switch back to the old design. Is it possible to switch back? Expand compose. Click here download. Why you are getting like this? It is empty only. Ideally, as we are returning output parameter, right? So that will be coming here, whatever we have given the string. So we need to figure it out. What is CCC output and action response? Let me edit it again. So check on compose and dynamic content. You are getting properly only output one, but why is this is this perform body output? Okay, this is nothing wrong here. Let me go back and check here. What I'm doing, I'm just assigning string, right? Put one. This is normal string. Let me read on once to identify. Paste it. Select manually. Click on test. Done. Now put action response. Okay. Compose. You want to direct. Basically, whatever you are passing here, that should be available. You should see in the compose. That's how it works. Are we missing something? We are coming empty screens, empty screen. Action puts. So instead of string I will try to pass. I will just remove this step and I will try to just assigning the value here, right? I will try to use that only. So no. Save activity. Activate. No, nothing changed here in the Power Automate. I'm just reinstating one more time to change my see my changes. Yeah, now if you see my first action parameter coming. Why it's not coming earlier? Because after this assigning output, you're stopping the workflow, right? I think some that is causing something. So instead of this one, that is truncating, right? So something is missing. Now if you see whatever you kept in the output assign value, that is coming here. So like this, whenever you define an action, you can use it as a function. You can pass some value and you can here you are passing in nh and you are getting output. So you can use it as a normal functions. In JavaScript, we see in function, right? So same way here you can pass the values and you can get some output. Okay, it's not we have used only one input parameter, one output parameter, right? You can add multiple here. It's not like one. You can add multiple strings. You can add multiple data types also. If you see here in the input one, so here if you see you have various types. Entity collection means multiple records. Entity means single record. Entity reference in lookup, float, integer, money. Quick list means option set, string, normal string, decimal. All CRM data types will be available here. So you can pass all CRM types and you can get back all CRM types. So here not only you can use out of the box, you can use the DLL as well. So the action work as a some kind of a custom method. You can call it from Power Automate. You can call it from here in the plugin registration tool. Like that, you can call it from anywhere. Okay. Any questions in understanding this action? Shivendra, Rizwan, Nikhil, Shiva. Sorry. Okay. So so far whatever we learned, right? That is till now this is pure CRM. We are done with 30 classes, right? So whatever you are doing here, that is pure CRM. Dynamic comes under dynamic CRM. The next 10 days, whatever you are learning, like you will be learning the Canvas apps, you will be learning the Power Platform, Power BI, Copilot Studio. These are like additional thing on top of CRM. You are for good to have skills like suppose Power BI. No one Power BI separate itself a some big concept. For that separate Power BI teams will be there. But as you are working for a Power Platform developer, you should know some minimal things. So that's why we are covering Power Platform, Power Canvas apps. We are covering Power BI, Copilot Studio. In the Copilot Studio, we are covering the minimal details about what are the Copilot agents and where we can see everything. Okay. So till here, whatever you learned, right? This is pure dynamic CRM. Okay, from these 30 classes. The next classes are like extended. We can call them as a Power Platform developer. These 30 classes as a CRM developer. The remaining 10 are like Power Platform developer. So how many got confidence like I am okay now? I'm understanding whatever I see or whatever I say. I'm able to do assignment. How many guys can confirm your like say like you're confident?
I am
Hmm?
fine with that.
What about others guys? Shivendra, what about you? You know all CRM?
Yes, I know. We need more practice, Harish. I'm continue to do this.
Hmm. So, so the why I'm the C sharp core things why I'm giving little priority because nowadays no one is using. Shivendra, have you written any C sharp plugin in your current project? You might be using for automate flows, you might be using something else, but are you writing any C sharp code other than automation?
No, Harish, still.
So that's how we are. So 2 years back, 3 years back, we used to write plugins extensively. So for small changes also, we used to rely on plugin. We used to make changes. We used to deploy everything. But now the changes change. So everything you are doing from Power Automate 90%. Okay. So tomorrow there is no class, and from Wednesday, tomorrow is Wednesday. Right? From Thursday we will be starting the Canvas apps. So Canvas app will be 3 days, like Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Again, from Monday, we will be continuing with the Power BI, the remaining topics, whatever we have. Okay. Anything, any questions, Nikhil, Srinivas, on the plan?
Oh, fine.
So, so once you're done with, you should able to crack an interview as per our plan because we have planned it for 40 very slow. Sometimes we are having more than 1 hour class, sometimes we are having 45 minutes because I want to segregate the topics instead of dumping all at one day. I can combine this custom actions and custom workflows in one class, but you need to feel the difference. You need to understand the difference. That's why I'm having a separate sections. Okay. So, so if you want to, if you suppose after this 40 days, obviously you will try for some companies, right? So make sure like you are preparing and you are giving some mock interviews. We will be preparing a resume. Everything we will done. Okay. Okay. Any questions? Nikhil, you are not talking anything.
Yes, sir.